Okay, so welcome back to part two. So in part one, I kind of went through very in detail to show you kind of everything that I would be looking at. This second page, I've got our highlighted section right down to the bottom of the page to where it says it starts with mama. And this section, I'm not going to go quite as in detail. I'm going to pick out maybe what I think are the key things from this section, but there's going to be more little details that I'm not going to focus on, but I'm kind of going to expect you to be able to focus on because we've already been through it in the first section. Um, it's good. It's supposed to give you practice. So I showed you how to do something, and then you were going to try it yourself. But I'm still going to help you with the major details that I don't want you to miss. So very quickly, this top bit here, it's just telling us about the dog, and I think this is interesting to me because it's put as its own paragraph. It's put as its own sentence, um, as if the author is trying to convince us as much as Doris is trying to convince her parents. So I think that is a really interesting idea that you can pull out of this here. It was a good dog. Um, and then this bit here, Doris knew that it wanted some company. Okay. So this is just increasing our knowledge of the bond between Doris and the puppy. Okay. Um, the puppy being a part of things, leaning against the door, listening to them talk in the kitchen. What I pull out of this is that the puppy wants to belong. The puppy wants a family. And it's interesting. We don't hear about any other children. I think Doris is an only child. Perhaps Doris wants like a sibling or a friend or another part of the family to bond with. And that's not something that's stated in the story, but that's something that you can pull out. Um, I think this is critical that she didn't name the dog as if she already knows what's going to happen. And that's critical towards tone and mood as well. It seems to be getting happy here in this section, and then the author says, nope, she didn't name the dog. Um, her father made so little money. So then that's the inferences that we made in part one. You know, if you were reading and you missed those inferences that they didn't have very much money, the author's helped you out here and tells you straight out what's happening. Um, Here we go, repetition of it's a good dog or a good dog, just like it said it was a good dog here, okay. Like she's trying to convince herself. Um, yeah, 9 days. 9 days after the dog arrives, um, Mr. Lacey opens up the trunk of the car and comes into the house. You know what's going to happen. Mr. Lacey's coming to get the dog, and I think this part here is important um, because the author isn't telling you, you know, what they're seeing from an objective point of view. Like we're not getting a picture of Doris crying. We're getting a picture of a point of view from within Doris. Like this is Doris' own thought. It's called stream of consciousness. Um, we're inside Doris's mind right now, and what a powerful thought. Like have you ever not wanted to cry, but then it came out anyways? Like that's the thought that we're going for here, and this part stuff like this is so important to include in creative writing because you want to have the reader identify with what you're putting out in the story. Her face was wet and red. Okay, so that's descriptive. Wet and red, and her eyes full of distress. Okay, and this is symbolic personification because your eyes can't literally be full of distress, but you understand what she means. Okay, then here we end with Mama Doris said in a small voice, please. Okay, so I went a little bit of less detail, but hopefully we got some major ideas here that we can look at in the next part. Okay, so I'll see you in that one.